All right, we are jumping right into the action. First game of the day, Your Mom versus Maelstrom. Looks like we have Jurassic Park I forget his number, but Jurassic Park jamming for Maelstrom. And he's going up against Twinkle Toes, number 69, for Your Mom. Your Mom in the black and Maelstrom in the white. And two quick penalties right off the bat. Dirty Larry and Benar, one from each team, going to the penalty box. And Jurassic Park just getting out of the pack first, just ahead of Twinkle Toes. Calls off the jam, no score.
Good morning, Bulldog.
And I just ran up the stairs to get here on time. A little bit breathless, in case you're wondering.
Hey, yeah, that is Bulldog's voice this morning. I'm also Bangers and Smash. We're going to bring this first bout to you this morning. Stick around here at WFTDA.tv. We've got a lot of Derby action happening today, and we're going to get right back into it.
All right, and we got a second jam very quickly. Number 8, Byron, jamming for Maelstrom. And number 9, Frank Not-So-Hatra, jamming for Your Mom. Gets clobbered by Hasselman, number 7 from Maelstrom. That opens up the door for Byron. He shakes off Seahorses Forever. And it looks like Nick Becker, number 12, going to the penalty box for Your Mom. So that's going to give a 3-on-2 pack advantage for Maelstrom. As Byron gets into the pack, dodges around number 3, Peter Pan, and calls off the jam for 4. Maelstrom first on the board.
All right, and don't forget out there in the Derbyverse, if you want to be part of the conversation this morning, you can join us on Twitter at #TalkToMRDA. And we'd love to see your pictures of your watch parties and also have you share your comments or questions as we go throughout the day today.
Maelstrom still with a 3-on-2 pack advantage. Number 3, Peter Pan, jamming for Your Mom, and No Big Deal. Number 1, 508, jamming for Maelstrom. No Big Deal in the middle. Now runs into Seahorses Forever and Sugar Boots from Your Mom at the front of the pack. Seahorses Forever inverted, both of them inverted, but No Big Deal able to squeeze around the outside. Picks up lead jammer for Maelstrom. There goes Peter Pan, getting around number 13, 37, Gaudette of Maelstrom, and now both jammers approaching the pack. No Big Deal into a completely spread out pack. Seahorses Forever heading to the penalty box. So easy 4 point, effortless 4 points for No Big Deal. Maelstrom now getting an 8-point lead over Your Mom.
That's it, Maelstrom really moving forward. You're kind of seeing some action early here in the notorious RED penalty box. You can skate dirty, but you'll smell clean with notorious RED. Your Mom giving up some penalties, so they're short in the pack. That's going to give them some points trouble. I think that's why we're seeing Maelstrom get this early lead.
Number 2, Conlon, jamming for Maelstrom in the white, running into B. Stang and Sugar Boots. B. Stang with the shoulder. Sugar Boots come across, but somehow Conlon able to stay upright. But a vicious 2-wall at the front. And there goes Twinkle Toes, number 69. Out to the front of the pack, turned around. I'm not sure what he was looking at, but he is lead jammer and in position to put some points on the board. The first points, I might add, of the first half. Your Mom so far shut out after 2 jams, but now into the pack. Gets around. There was a serious fight going on at the front of the pack. Mars Travolta duking it out with Sugar Boots, but Your Mom on the board finally after 3 jams.
And yeah, we're at a 4-8. Maelstrom still with a 4-point lead at the moment. 26 minutes remaining in this half of the bout. A little bit of sponsor love. 5-on-5 magazine for all the information you need on WFTDA, Junior Derby coaching, rookie help, gear, art and media, and international Derby. Visit 5on5magazine.com.
And now I think for the first time with a pack advantage, Your Mom's Frank Not-So-Hatra, number 9, getting out of the pack first for lead jammer. And Jurassic Park, number 1993, duking it out in a 3-on-1 pack right now. Right now, his only friend in the pack is number 32, Pickering. And he is getting dominated by Nick Becker right now at the rear of the pack, number 12 for Your Mom. And here comes Frank Not-So-Hatra helping out his blocker. And now just outfoxing Pickering, actually falling down as he tries to block Frank Not-So-Hatra. And Frank Not-So-Hatra picking up a second grand slam. 10 points on the board so far. So Your Mom coming back with a vengeance. Here's Frank Natsuhatra on his third scoring pass. Gets around Coulter. Nick Becker. Oh, no, it looks like Coulter sent to the penalty box. So Frank Natsuhatra, 15 points so far for your mom, and not slowing down. Still a little bit of time in the jam. Still lots of time in the jam. We're only halfway through the jam. So here we go. That's going to be another 20 points in this jam so far. And the jam only halfway over. Still over, almost 50 seconds left. And Frank Natsuhatra finally just opting to call off the jam. So that was 20 points in just a little over 60 seconds.
Your mom definitely owning that last jam, definitely changing up the score here. Mass Maelstrom remains at 8. Your mom moving to 24 with 24:20 remaining in the bout. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing out there in Derbyland, you can get DVDs of every single bout this weekend if you want. You can go to the cornstalkers.com website or email info@cornstalkers.com for more information.
Number 4, Lily Pad jamming for your mom and easily through that Mass Maelstrom pack. Number 8, Byron having a little more trouble for Mass Maelstrom. Gets around Dirty Larry, number 1369. And completes his initial pass. Sugar Boots going to the penalty box. That's going to make it a 3-on-2 pack advantage for Mass Maelstrom. But Lily Pad, a quick move up the inside, gets around Gadet and Hasselman. But Byron coming in out of nowhere and matching those 4 points. So a 4-4 jam.
That's it. Lily Pad moving really fast through the pack, but the jammer awareness not necessarily good timing there as Burnt Reynolds able to move right through that pack and just take those 4 points.
That's right. Burnt Reynolds is his skate name, but right now he's got Byron. In case you were confused, there was number 8 has Byron. That is his name on the back of his shirt, but his skate name is Burnt Reynolds. But right now we got it's Calentro, not cilantro. I was correct, but it's Calentro, number 109, jamming for Mass Maelstrom against number 69, Twinkle Toes for your mom. Once again, your mom in the black, Mass Maelstrom in the white. Calentro driven all the way almost out of turn 1 by Seahorses Forever. Twinkle Toes held up in the back. And nice work by Calentro running in, driving that shoulder into Peter Pan at the front of the pack. Number 3 for your mom. Calentro, though, being held back effectively nevertheless. They have a duel at the front of the pack. Finally, Calentro getting past Peter Pan after Peter Pan relents at the end of the engagement zone. But Twinkle Toes getting shut down. Gadet with a shoulder check knocks him out of bounds and draws him back to turn 4 as Calentro hits the back on a scoring pass. Stumbles over a fallen skater, but no, it looked like I was checking there for a second. It looked like Calentro might have been going to the penalty box, but no, it turns out, Calentro was going to the penalty box. It looked like Seahorses Forever might have been going to the penalty box, but no, it is now a power jam. I believe first power jam of the game. Twinkle Toes, number 69 for your mom, approaching the pack. This is only his first scoring pass, though. Mass Maelstrom have been putting up a powerful defense in this jam. Coulter and Bernard, number 80. Coulter, number 5150, falls down. Bernard unable to hold back Twinkle Toes, and he completes his first Grand Slam of the jam.
And we're going to continue in the power jam. He comes back around the corner. Pack in turn 3 with a little apex jump happening there. And it's going to be another 5 points on the board for your mom. Your mom is going to take advantage of this and pull away from Mass Maelstrom even further. Jam coming to an end. We're going to reset. And with a fresh jammer for the remainder of the power jam for your mom.
All right, so it looked like it was shaping up to be another big jam for Mass Maelstrom, but that jammer penalty sent Calentro to the penalty box, and that gave your mom the opportunity to match a lot of those points.
That's right, and right now we might actually be watching some skaters that are going to be MVPs. Ringster, sponsor of the MVP trophies for the MRDA champs.
Number 9, Frank Natsuhatra, dodging around Coulter, number 5150 of Mass Maelstrom, and number 7, Hasselman, to get lead jammer. Now hits back on his first scoring pass. Hasselman makes first contact. They form a 2-wall, but Coulter not fast enough. Frank Natsuhatra jukes around the outside and picks up a Grand Slam. And, Pickering going to the penalty box, number 32 of Mass Maelstrom. It was the notorious RED penalty box was empty briefly, but now two blockers. Godet, has to take another lap. Went past the point of no return and has to come back around. Jam ends. Believe that was a 10-point jam for your mom. And the next one's going to start 4-on-2 pack advantage for your mom.
That's it. Two blockers in the box, in the notorious RED penalty box for Mass Maelstrom. We're at 14:48, and with 19:30 remaining on the clock, Jammer back on the jam line for Mass Maelstrom. Let's see if it makes a difference for him.
Number 4, Lilypad clashing at the front of the pack with number 615, Mars Travolta. And he knocks him out of bounds. Lilypad has to take another run at it. This time makes it around. Gets past Collar and number 562, the last line of defense, and gets lead Jammer. Now number 2, Conlin, the jammer for Mass Maelstrom, also getting out, but about a half a lap behind. Lilypad gets into the pack and just weaves his way through an unsuspecting Mass Maelstrom blocker and set of blockers, and now gets 3 points for your mom. Calls off the jam.
And we did have a question at our hashtag Talk to MRDA. Mark Rollins asks, has Mass Maelstrom and your mom ever played before? And the answer to that is yes. In October of last year, they came face to face. Mass Maelstrom scoring 93, your mom at 192 during that bout. So let's see how things shape up here. Mass Maelstrom was able to take that early lead. Let's see if they can make a comeback.
Yeah, but still plenty of time left in the game. Number 1993, Jurassic Park jamming for Mass Maelstrom against number 3, Peter Pan, who gets lead jammer for your mom. Jurassic Park looking for the outside lane, gets denied by number 88, Just Mike. And now on the inside, Dirty Larry, tries to hold him in with that hip, but Jurassic Park able to get through. But here comes Peter Pan leaping over a fallen Hasselman, number 7, who goes to the penalty box. Completes the pass, calls it off in time. 4 points for Peter Pan, no points for Jurassic Park of Mass Maelstrom.
Nicely done. I mentioned those DVDs of this bout. If you want to get this bout, you can pay. Get it for $10 at cornstalkers.com. If you want to get the whole team, if you follow Mass Maelstrom or your mom, $25. If you want to get the entire championship, $50. That's actually a $50 savings over buying each bout individually. It's a great tool that you can use if you're looking to improve your game.
Number 8 for Mass Maelstrom in the white, Byron jamming. Gets drawn back by Seahorses Forever, number 7. Luke Jam Blocker, number 5, also helping out Seahorses Forever, along with number 12, Nick Becker. All three of them all over Byron, the jammer from Mass Maelstrom. And there goes Frank Not So Hotra, number 9, already lead jammer, now on his first scoring pass. Runs into Godet. Pickering screens across, but there goes Frank Not So Hotra coming out of the pack. And I think he was taunting Byron a little bit. Now moving into a defensive posture. He's completed a grand slam, so 5 points already on the board for your mom. Doing a little bit of defense against Byron, but ultimately calling off the jam. 5-0 for your mom in that jam.
We got another comment at Talk to MRDA. Stuart Mackin says the Barrow Infernos are currently growing some quality beers so they can compete against the American teams. That's great. Mostly only American announcers, though, have beards. No, there's a lot of guys with beards out there today. That's for sure.
But he said quality beards. All right, number 508, no big deal. Jamming for Mass Maelstrom, running into a 3-wall at the front. Lilypad gets around deep insider, number 775, to get lead jammer. Dirty Larry going to the penalty box. That's going to even up the pack. And now Just Mike, number 88, also going. So it's going to be a 3-on-2 pack advantage. But that doesn't pose a problem for Lilypad, completing his first grand slam for your mom. No big deal. Driven out of bounds and drawn way back by B. Stang. B. Stang and Sugar Boots dropping back into a 2-wall. Hasselman trying to bust up that 2-wall, but knock B. Stang out of the way. But B. Stang maintaining position at the front of the back. But this time, no big deal, able to dodge around. But that was his initial pass. Lilypad on his, I believe, second scoring pass. And now calling off the jam. Doesn't get any points on that last scoring pass, though. Small victory for Mass Maelstrom.
That's it. Lily Pad really, really fast out there on the track. And your mom now holding Mass Maelstrom to that 14 points for a good number of jams there. Mass Maelstrom needs to get back in the game. Perhaps out there on the Ringster jam line, Conlon can make it happen for him. Looks like we're going to go into an official timeout. This official timeout brought to you by SinCitySkates.com, the first, the best, and happy to fix the rest. Visit SinCitySkate.com for all your skating needs. They've been around for a very long time, for as long as I can remember in Derby, and they will not sell it unless they would wear it. So definitely check with them when you are looking for great gear. A little bit of feedback from the house mics there, if you happen to hear that over the ambient sound there. Yeah, that official timeout comes to an end. Looks like we're going to get back into the action.
Although I think we are in UFO country.
We are in UFO country. Maybe we're all going to be abducted. They like men's derby so much in outer space out there in the universe.
Well, the notorious RED penalty box did have 4 blockers in there, but now only 2 for your mom and 1 for Mass Maelstrom. So a 3-on-2 pack advantage for the gentleman in white. Number 2, Conlon, jamming for Mass Maelstrom. But number 69, Twinkle Toes, getting out first for lead. But Conlon right behind him. So now jammer on jammer contact, almost seeing both spill over. But Twinkle Toes did go slightly out of bounds, so Conlon was able to rush back in. But Twinkle Toes calling it off. And it looks like he did get 1 point. 1 point for your mom.
Another small victory for Mass Maelstrom, though, able to hold your mom to just 1 point. Every little bit's going to help Maelstrom here at this point because they don't want to let your mom get out of the pack and just continue to increase that lead they've already got. We're at 14:71 with 14 minutes remaining in this jam, or period.
Yeah. That could be a very long jam. But number 9, Frank Not So Hatra gets lead jammer. Jurassic Park, number 1993 for Mass Maelstrom, getting out, but about a half a lap behind. Frank Not So Hatra into the pack. And great pack work by Just Mike and Dirty Larry, clearing the Mass Maelstrom blockers to the outside and opening up a wide path for Frank Not So Hatra. Picks up 4 points and calls it off.
Frank Not So Hatra really fast on his feet out there. And you can be fast on your feet as well if you can trust your pads. Pro Design Pads, official sponsor of the announcer table. They will custom design your pads for you so they fit perfect every time.
And Seahorses Forever in the notorious RED penalty box all by himself. And at the Ringster jam line, number 4, Lily Pad against number 8, Byron for Mass Maelstrom, who squeezes around the outside. Just gets clipped by a hip check from Sugar Boots. Knocks him out of bounds. But Lily Pad gets sent to the penalty box. Back block on Lily Pad, so that means it's a power jam for Mass Maelstrom. Big opportunity. Number 8, Byron, is lead jammer. The jam ref verifying that Lily Pad was not lead jammer, so it was still open. So now Byron, lead jammer, now on his first scoring pass, running into Peter Pan. Spins around the outside, but Peter Pan reverses it, gets back in front, but stumbles and just enough for Byron to get out of the pack. First Grand Slam of the jam. First Grand Slam in a while in fact, I think that may be the first Grand Slam in this game for Mass Maelstrom. Now Peter Pan once again making contact with Byron. Now Luke, jam blocker. Look, I believe he did knock Byron out of bounds, but they were out of the engagement zone by that time. I believe that was the call. So it was deemed a clean pass. And therefore, Byron get into his third scoring pass. And I believe, was that third scoring pass or second? I kind of lost track in the excitement. It was either 10 or 15 points.
That was the third scoring pass because we're at 31 now.
Okay, so I was right. That was right the first time.
Absolutely.
Okay. It was 15 points.
And good call-off time there. You saw the jammer for your mom stand up in the box. Your mom currently filling the notorious RED penalty box. So power start for Mass Maelstrom. Number 2, Conlon on the jam line. Gets started and gets trapped by Peter Pan. We're hearing a lot of Peter Pan at the front of the pack holding up the jammers.
And another thing we're seeing a lot of, the lily pad coming out of the penalty box, opting to go out in front of the pack and come the long way around. And that ensures that he's not going to get any kind of an illegal entry penalty. But
it was an illegal procedure call. I'm not sure what the illegal procedure was for. I did see the Your Mom coach come out from the bench and kind of scream to the inside. So I imagine we might see a challenge on this one.
Possibly. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that he left the penalty box early. I mean, the only thing, I didn't see anything else. It looked like he came in clean ahead of the pack. However, you know, the officials have the final say on that. And this is you know, hopefully not a catastrophe for your mom, but I bet Mass Maelstrom is saying, I will take it, man. Your mom has taken off in this first half. And Mass Maelstrom will be happy to pick up that extra power jam. And now we did have a no pass, no penalty, so only 4 points in the last scoring pass by Conlon.
That's it. Pack got stuck over there in turn number 2. Peter Pan demonstrating that he's a really good asset for your mom as far as blocking there at the front of the pack, able to slow up the jam and hold Mass Maelstrom from putting even more points on the board. But Mass Maelstrom really making some movement here. Now the score is only 35 points separating each team, 40-75. Your mom still with the advantage in points.
4-on-4 pack, all of the blockers on the track. Jurassic Park, number 1993, the lone jammer on this power jam. Dirty Larry screening to the outside, knocks down Jurassic Park, but he comes back in clean. Now it's just Mike, and now Beastang one-on-one with Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park driving that shoulder in, finally gets past the engagement zone and a free pass. He's lead jammer, but now Lilypad comes back in clean this time. He's not being recalled to the penalty box, which I'm sure your mom is happy about. But Jurassic Park fighting off Beastang, completing a grand slam. So with 2 power jams in a row, Mass Maelstrom has reduced this lead to only 30 points by your mom. And Jurassic Park getting in again. He's going to chip away at a little bit more, 2 more points. Looks like, yeah, so now it is down to a 28-point lead for your mom.
Mass Maelstrom having some really good jams here, these last couple jams, and really able to show that they're out there to play this game. It's getting even closer as the clock continues to tick down. 8:30, 47-75. Your mom still with the points lead. Galantro on the jam line for Mass Maelstrom, and Twinkle Toes for your mom. Jam is in progress.
That's right. They're moving slowly, but it is in progress. Calentro stuck behind Nick Becker and Luke Jamblocker, numbers 12 and 5, respectively, for your mom. Twinkletoes, number 69, driven out by Deep Insider, comes back in. Now running into a 3-wall. We've got Godet, Coulter, and Deep Insider knocked down by Luke Jamblocker, but Coulter, number 5150, taking out Twinkletoes. Twinkletoes comes back in, and this time batters his way past. Nick Becker at the back of the pack, number 12, holding back Calentro almost by himself. Now runs into Peter Pan, but Calentro finally able to get out, and he's called lead jammer. That's right, Twinkletoes did not get lead jammer, but he did get 2 points on a scoring pass, but Calentro putting it a stop to the bleeding.
As the Twinkletoes came out of the pack, you saw the ref signal no pass, no penalty, and then say not going to be eligible for lead. And that meant all that had to happen for Mass Maelstrom was for Calentro to get out of the pack and call off the jam. He got out here. He saw the lead call. He kind of looked to his bench. Do I call it? Do I call it? And that's why you saw that little bit of confusion on his face there, I think.
Now number 508, and no big deal, jamming for Mass Maelstrom. Mass Maelstrom in the white. Your mom in the black with jammer number 9, Frank Not So Hotra. No big deal with some fancy footwork. Getting around number 88, Just Mike, and number 1369, Dirty Larry to get lead jammer. There goes Frank Not So Hotra. He's about a quarter lap behind. No big deal, but closing the gap quickly. No big deal. Calls it off just in time, but doesn't put any points on the board. Scoreless jam.
That's it. No big deal. Very aware of where the other jammer was. Wanted to get out of there. Thought perhaps there were going to be a couple points there as he came into the back of the pack, but no hips passing, so it just didn't happen. But Mass Maelstrom still able to keep this with just a 30 points between the two teams right now. 47-77, 6:17 remain on the clock. And Turn 2 Skate Shop would like you to visit turn2skateshop.com. All the action is in Turn 2, and we've seen that corner get a lot of action in this championship, that's for sure.
Indeed. Now we've got Jurassic Park number 1993 facing a four-wall, but Nick Becker and Seahorses Forever, that two-wall driving Jurassic Park out of bounds, has to recycle back to the jammer line. Lily Pad number 4 for Your Mom facing some heat of his own. Mass Maelstrom knocking him out, and Godet dropping him back almost to the jammer line. And now way at the front of the pack, all the way around Turn 2. For goodness sake. Number 3, Peter Pan. A duel between him and Jurassic Park, but Jurassic Park finally getting out. The jammer for Mass Maelstrom is now lead jammer. Lily Pad knocked out of bounds and pulled back to Turn 2 by Godet. Pack has not moved past that point. And there goes Jurassic Park through the pack. A natural grand slam with the opposing jammer still on the track. Haven't had a lot of, we had those 2 in a row from Your Mom. But we haven't had a heck of a lot of power jam so far, in the period's almost over. So
this is true. I think that's given Mass Maelstrom a chance here, especially with Your Mom continuing to give up penalties. Another 5 points for Jurassic Park and Mass Maelstrom. So we're even closer now, just a 20-point game as we continue to see that score get driven, that score gap get driven down to 0 is what Mass Maelstrom is hoping for, or switching it up. 4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining on the clock. And I don't know if you saw Coulter, though, went to the penalty box there. It was actually a misconduct call. It appeared that he may have been called on that for hitting a down skater. And we're going to get back into the jam here. Twinkle Toes quickly off the jam line and out of the pack. But getting a forearm call, making it a power jam again for Mass Maelstrom.
I should have kept my mouth shut as soon as I say that. There now all of a sudden everything's going to be a power jam. I shouldn't say that either. But now we've got Conlon, number 2, facing off against Peter Pan at the front of the pack. Seahorses Forever moving in to make it a 2-wall. Looks like Hasselman, number 7, going to the penalty box for Mass Maelstrom. And Conlon driven out of bounds, but he's got Benar and Colleran, sorry. Now going to the penalty box, so we're going to have a jammer swap out, the first one of the game. Twinkle Toes is released now. Of course, now I think they learned a lesson from Lilypad. He looks over the shoulder and waits for the explicit signal from the penalty box manager to be released, because that is an easy way to get sent right back to the penalty box.
That is true. No lead jammer going to happen this time because we've had a jammer swap after lead was given. So Twinkle Toe is going to have to skate the rest of this jam out, but living up to his name, coming in, getting through the pack on that initial pass, jumping over the apex with a nice little turn going on. 5 points more on the board for Your Mom. Twinkle Toe is going to take advantage of this and try to put as many points back up on the board for Your Mom to kind of make up for the points they've been losing over the past few jams. To Mass Maelstrom. Conlon back in, though, and shoveling Nicholas Becker at the front of the pack, trying to get out of there and put more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom.
Now, Conlon is on a scoring pass, if memory serves. Now, Twinkle Toes, though, having Mass Maelstrom, just an impenetrable wall until I say it out loud, and then they get penetrated. But no, he does get a grand slam. That's leftovers from that power jam. He started his scoring pass while Conlon was still in the penalty box, so got that jammer point right off the bat. But that the jam ends and started with a 20-point lead by Your Mom, and ends with now I have to do math.
I'm going to say it looks like 28.
20. Okay, so I believe that. Your Mom actually picking up a couple more points towards the lead.
It could have been considerably worse, I think, but good job by Mass Maelstrom getting back out there and matching the points there toward the end of that jam.
And there goes Frank Not-So-Hatra, number 9, just racing around the outside edge of the track. Gets around Coulter. Coulter just watched him go by. He was moving that quickly. And now into the pack on a scoring pass. This time Coulter makes contact, but Frank Not-So-Hatra getting through the pack very easily. No big deal. Number 508 jamming for Mass Maelstrom, still on his initial pass, weaving his way through the Your Mom defense, gets past B Stang and Dirty Larry, gets caught by Sugar Boots, and now Dirty Larry at the front of the pack. Oh, can't hold him in. No big deal though. Getting out. This was his initial pass though. Frank Not-So-Hatra on a second scoring pass and gets 4 points this time. Did not get through, and no big deal, was already out of the pack, so did not get a second jammer point, but may get a jammer point this time. Potentially 5 points on this pass. Already 9 points in this jam for Your Mom, but now at the front of the pack, we've got 1337 Godet, Mars Travolta, number 615, and team captain number 775 Deep Insider. Coulter dropping back to bridge, but Frank Not-So-Hatra getting stymied by the Mass Maelstrom blockers. Now it looks like B Stang, Seahorses Forever, and Sugar Boots moving in to try and break it up, but great defense on that third scoring pass by Mass Maelstrom. But he still gets 4 points, so a 13-point jam for Your Mom.
Mass Maelstrom putting some points up on the board as well. 61-100, 10 seconds remaining on the period clock. We probably won't have enough time to get to another jam, although actually it looks like I see some people in the infield. Perhaps we're going to go to an official review being called. Yes, an official review has been called. So with time that was remaining on the clock before that ticked out, we may end up with one more jam. So don't go away yet. We're not quite at halftime until we know what the refs say. That was the halftime whistle, so I'm waiting to make sure the skaters leave before we go to the shot of us here. We just want to make sure that we're actually not going to have another jam.
Yeah, the question is, was a timeout called, or was it simply an informal referee conference by the team captains? So, we'll keep an eye out.
I don't see the teams leaving it. It looks like they might be starting to dwindle off. Are they? No, teams are still hanging out, so we're going to wait just a minute.
This is a little bit like the commentators watching to see who the new pope was going to be. Oh,
that's right.
Is that smoke? Is that smoke black or white? Does it look black to you? I don't know. Okay, now that is definitely white smoke. They are going to the locker room, so it is definitely halftime. All right.
Oh, what a great first half that was, Bulldog, with Mass Maelstrom really making a strong comeback there after they got trapped at 14 points for a while, making some good headway, and Your Mom certainly showing that they can dominate out there as well.
Okay, well, Sugar Boots is still out there, and Deep Insider, the captains for the respective teams. Still out there conferring with the referees, but we'll maybe find out what they're talking about, maybe not.
Yeah, I see the next two teams already coming out to do their warm-up. It looks like Mass Maelstrom has gone off to the locker room. Your Mom's still kind of hanging out on the bench. Not sure. We'll find out if anything happens. Comes of the little conference happening out there for you. But we're actually going to take a break for just a few minutes, and then we'll be back. Thank you very much for joining us here on WFTDA.tv.
Texas Roll 'em. That goes to you.
Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our Las Vegas living room in 2005, the first shop ever dedicated to roller derby, and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot mecca in San Diego, where we stock everything for our sport. Need help? With a combined on-track experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell, and we're happy to share that experience and knowledge with you. So contact us, sincityskates.com.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Just about a minute to the Derby action so far. Your Mom with 40 points, but you can see they're giving up some penalties. Seahorses Forever currently the most in trouble with 4, and his 4 penalties spell out pale on Ringster. That's very interesting. You don't often get words spelled on Ringster.
That's P-A-I-L, not P-A-L-E. So we're not referring to his complexion. In fact, we're not referring to anything at all. What we are talking about right now is the first semifinal game. The winner of this game will go on to the championship. And right now, Your Mom has a solid lead. They've maintained a solid lead throughout most of the first half. Mass Maelstrom came on strong in the first couple of jams, but Your Mom quickly dispatched that lead and opened it up. I think that since then, the closest that Mass Maelstrom's gotten is about 20 points. Right now with a 39-point lead, and B. Stang jamming for the first time for Your Mom. Gets out of the pack quickly for lead jammer. Jurassic Park, number 1993, at the front of the pack, fighting against a 2-wall Just Mike and Sugar Boots. Finally relenting, Jurassic Park gets out, but there goes B. Stang going through the pack, exiting in inverted position, calls off the jam for 4. Your Mom, 4 points. Scoreboard showed 5 there for just a second.
That's it. Your Mom coming back from the half and planning to dominate the second half. They show off that by getting that first lead jam and putting the points on the board, getting out before Mass Maelstrom can get to the pack.
So Dirty Larry in the penalty box right now. So it's a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Mass Maelstrom. Byron, number 8, running into a big scrum. Dodges around, weaves his way through, but Peter Pan catches him at the front, and that gives Nick Becker and Luke Jamblocker time to get in front of him. But now, quick move around the outside, and Byron is lead jammer. There goes, Frank Natso-Hatra going to the penalty box, a cutting the track penalty against the Your Mom jammer. So second jam in the game, and it's a power jam. Byron now on his first scoring pass, runs into Luke Jamblocker, looks for the outside lane, but Nick Becker is there. Nick Becker with a shoulder check, Dirty Larry with a hip check, double teaming Byron right now. Nick Becker on the outside, keeping Byron contained, but a shoulder check takes Peter Pan out of the picture. And it's a grand slam for Mass Maelstrom, but he had to work for that. But now Nick Becker going to the penalty box to join his team's jammer, Frank Natso-Hatra. So now a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Mass Maelstrom. Byron on his second scoring pass, running into Dirty Larry and Peter Pan at the front. Nick Becker drops back. Luke Jamblocker drops back to bridge. And now Dirty Larry bridging. Now it's 1-on-1 Peter Pan against Byron. They're stretching out, and he runs out of room. Byron gets the free pass. Now 10 points for Mass Maelstrom in this second jam of the second half. Third scoring pass. Peter Pan stumbles. Dirty Larry stumbles, but Peter Pan recovers, gets in front. Luke Jamblocker slowing down Byron, keeping him in the pack, but he still gets 4 points. A 14-point jam for Mass Maelstrom.
Again, much-needed power jam for Mass Maelstrom. They're going to start with a power start. No big deal. Going to see if he can grab lead jammer once that whistle blows before Frank Natso-Hatra can come back out of the penalty box, but he is standing and ready to go.
No big deal. Number 508 jamming for Mass Maelstrom. They still have that 4-on-3 pack advantage. Nick Becker still sitting. No big deal, runs into Dirty Larry right off the bat. Stumbles Twinkle Toes with a little shoulder check. Now Sugar Boots and Twinkle Toes holding back. Twinkle Toes stays in front of No Big Deal, but No Big Deal, ducks under a shoulder check. Twinkle Toes almost goes spinning out of bounds, but No Big Deal able to get out for lead. Here comes Frank Natso-Hatra making short work of the pack. Gets past Pickering at the front of the pack and is out, but No Big Deal I believe he called it off in time. It's looking at the jam ref, she's saying 0 points and 3 points for Mass Maelstrom.
So Mass Maelstrom coming back from the half saying, hey, we want to take this game for ourselves. Coming back strong, putting some more points on the board, closing up that score gap, 78-104. Your Mom still with the lead, 26-20 remain in gameplay. You saw a knee pad shell fall off there during that last jam. Didn't affect anybody, but they've cleared that off, and we're ready to get to the next jam.
So far, a 17-4 in the second half for Mass Maelstrom. Mass Maelstrom with a plus 13 differential in the second half just started, but we saw the same thing in the first half. So maybe seeing a repeat. But if this goes according to what happened in the first half, well then Your Mom will get a big jam here and pull out ahead. But so far, both jammers getting shut down. Number 4, Lily Pad, just surrounded, just locked up at the back of the pack by Mass Maelstrom. But Conlon, number 2, getting the same treatment from Your Mom. Now Coulter moving in to try and break up that front of the pack. But Nick Becker staying in front, but no, a quick move around the outside, and Pickering gets past Nick Becker and Peter Pan and claims lead jammer. But there goes Lily Pad out of the pack as well. Both jammers now moving into scoring position. Conlon into the pack on his first scoring pass. Oh, tries to call off the jam, but I think Lily Pad did get, he did get in there. Looks like 3 points for Your Mom. Yes, 3 points and no points. No points for Mass Maelstrom.
Very hard fought jam there. Good on Your Mom's jammer for getting in there, not stopping till that fourth whistle. You may be wondering why you're not seeing Dirty Larry out there on the track. He's actually broken a truck at some point during the gameplay, so he's going to be out for a jam or two while he fixes his skate.
Now we have Frank Not-So-Hatra, number 9, going against Colentro, number 109 for Mass Maelstrom. Colentro driven out of bounds by Twinkle Toes. Comes back in. Frank Not-So-Hatra, quick move around the outside, gets him past Colleran, number 562 of Mass Maelstrom, and claims lead jammer. Colentro still in the pack, gets around just Mike, but now Twinkle Toes. Oh, yes, Twinkle Toes with a big shoulder check, knocking Colentro now with a quick move, slices straight up the center of the pack and completes his initial pass. But Frank Not-So-Hatra on a scoring pass just dodges past avoids a hip check from Mars Travolta, gets out of the pack, has to fight for it, but does get 4 points for Your Mom.
That's it. Your Mom continuing to send blockers to the penalty box. Mass Maelstrom going to take advantage of that as much as they can. You saw Twinkle Toes get called off for a high block on that shoulder check, that last shoulder check you saw him deliver to Colentro, and that enabled Colentro to be able to get out of that pack and go. Official timeout being called currently. And this official timeout is brought to you by Bruce Skate News, the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. Visit Bruce Skate News on Facebook, and make sure you get one. If you already have one, get another one. They come in all shapes and sizes. You can get some great colors or fabric for them.
Okay, well, we are still in an official timeout. Clock frozen at 23 minutes, 49 seconds left in the game. This is the second period. But Your Mom still with a healthy lead. Now I have to do math again. It's 22 plus 11 is 33. Started out with a 39-point lead in the second half. So now, Mass Maelstrom has chipped a little bit away at that, knocking off 6 points off that lead. But Your Mom's still holding strong.
That's it. Mass Maelstrom coming back from the half, and they're like, we're definitely here to play this game. We're going to give you a challenge. You know, we mentioned earlier that when they played in October of last year, it was 96-192. So Mass Maelstrom definitely improving their score over the previous time they bouted Your Mom. It's definitely not it's definitely not a 90-some point spread at this point in time. Let's see if Mass Maelstrom can keep that low spread and maybe even take the lead. I know they'd like to do that.
That is Frank Natso-Hatra, number 9, and number 39, Cleveland Stever. That's the Your Mom team bench right now on your screen. Your Mom in the black, Mass Maelstrom in the white.
And that's a shot of the notorious RED penalty box. You can currently see we've got number 6, Sugar Boots, and number 69, Twinkle Toes, in the box. And Twinkle Toes was seated, but now standing. I think maybe we're getting close to this official timeout being done. I don't know. Looks like some people taking seats in the penalty box. We've now got 4 Your Mom skaters in the penalty box area. Not sure what's going on with that. As soon as we know what the official timeout was for, maybe somebody, it looks like maybe somebody didn't report for a penalty. And now Twinkle Toes took off his pivot. He's giving it to Dirty Larry, who's putting on the pivot cover, and it looks like he's going to sit in the penalty box.
Well, now Dirty Larry did have that mechanical malfunction on his skate. So what I would guess happened is that Dirty Larry got a penalty, but because he couldn't report to the penalty box because he was getting his skate repaired. So Twinkle Toes was most likely serving that penalty for him, but. And yes, I was just double checking to make sure that Twinkle Toes didn't report into the jam. But interestingly, Twinkle Toes looks like he's heading towards. We might have actually had an ejection, possibly a misconduct.
I'm going to guess on that shoulder check delivered by Twinkle Toes, they were probably calling that a gross shoulder check.
That's right, and it looks like we have had an ejection, or are we calling it that? But yeah, it looks like Twinkle Toes report went to the locker room, and so now scratch what I said before. It looks like Dirty Larry simply serving the remainder of Twinkle Toes' penalty. So yeah, we're trying to get the information to you as quickly as it comes to us, but we haven't got an official report on that yet. But right now into the jam, Jurassic Park getting out first for lead, getting his grand slam on. He is lead jammer. He was already lead jammer. B Stang, the jammer for Your Mom, still struggling, but Mass Maelstrom holding strong. There goes Godet across with a hip check, gets in front of B Stang. Coulter guarding the outside lane. B Stang getting nowhere in the pack, and Jurassic Park, it's hard to tell with that beard, but it looked like he had a big smile on his face. But
it looks like, it looks like we come back to this jam. Your Mom, it looks like a little shook up after what happened there, and Mass Maelstrom going to take advantage of that and close up this score gap even more. We're at 88-111. Mass Maelstrom continuing to chip away at that Your Mom lead. Let's see if they can do it again. These walls for Mass Maelstrom have been really strong. Looks like another official timeout happening here. We're still waiting for the official word on what happened with the penalty box switch up there. We haven't heard yet from the announcer ref on the sidelines, but there is definitely another dazzle of zebras happening currently in the infield.
All right, at this point, I'm pretty confident. It doesn't look like Twinkle Toes is coming back, so I'm pretty confident that it was in fact an expulsion. So we are unlikely to see him back unless it's off skates. And I don't think, and I didn't see Dirty Larry's penalty count tick up. So interesting, yeah.
Looks like Ringster may have frozen up on us, so we'll let you know once we know more. Potomac Ripper out there in Twitterland talks to us at Talk to MRDA, says, want to wish Captain Kicard a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Captain Kicard.
Yes. I almost forgot. It is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Captain Kicard. As always, a pleasure to wish you a happy birthday. Just about every time I'm on mic, as a matter of fact. But here we go. We have Byron, number 8, jamming for Mass Maelstrom. And number 4, Lily Pad for Your Mom. Your Mom in the black. Now Lily Pad running into Deep Insider, Gaudette, and Hasselman. And that's who is that on the outside? Mars Travolta, number 615. Mars Travolta, and there goes Byron screaming out of the pack. He is lead jammer now. And Lilypad driven out of bounds on the infield. Mass Maelstrom coming together in this second half. They're still chipping away at that lead. Your Mom still holding on to a solid lead. But Mass Maelstrom getting their jammer through and putting points on the board. Number 5, Luke Jamblocker of Your Mom, drawing Byron to the far, almost to the jammer line. The pack still at the top of turn 1. And Byron getting knocked out by Nick Becker, comes back in clean. Now rams into Luke Jamblocker. Oh, but it finds an opening on the outside. Hasselman just clipped Nick Becker out of the way. And Byron's going to call off the jam, a grand slam for Mass Maelstrom. And now they're within 20 points, less than 20 points separating the two teams.
That's it. Mass Maelstrom continuing to fight a hard fight out there. 93, 111, 20, 57 on the board. Can Mass Maelstrom take this one? They definitely want to. I know they would love to move on to the championship game. This game, the winner of this game, does go into the championship round here for the 2013 MRDA champs.
Frank Not-So-Hatra, number 9, jamming for Your Mom up at the front, fighting a lonely battle at the front of the pack, but does manage to get out in front. Gets past Mycopathic Chiller, number 40, for Mass Maelstrom. And now on his first scoring pass, no big deal, getting around Sugar Boots, completing his initial pass for Mass Maelstrom. But on his scoring pass, Frank Not-So-Hatra for Your Mom, screams to the inside, gets around Coulter. Coulter not able to close the door and calls off the jam 4-0 for Your Mom.
The first time in a few jams Your Mom's had any momentum on the scoreboard. 93, 115, 20 minutes remaining on the clock. It looks like we're going to another official timeout. I see the head ref going to the penalty box. Perhaps somebody not reporting for a penalty or some penalty question. I see the penalty box manager calling over the infield penalty board persons. And our announcer ref apologizes over our little feed between her. She says so much is going on. She's had to go out to the infield so many times. She hasn't been able to give us an update on those last few official timeouts. So we'll give you the information as soon as we get it on what's been going on down there on the field. But you can definitely see that Your Mom has been playing short these last few jams and with some penalty trouble going on. And this is definitely helping Mass Maelstrom to close that score gap. And Mass Maelstrom, though, managing to keep a number of blockers out of the notorious RED penalty box. And that's working in their favor. Okay, so one of the earlier official timeouts was a penalty to Twinkle Toes for a high block, and that was updated to a gross misconduct, and he was expelled. So that is what happened earlier when we saw that confusion in the penalty box, where you saw the 4 people moving into the penalty box for Your Mom. Now we've got 2 people in the penalty box, and a lot of Your Mom gathered around the penalty box. The head ref discussing with all the penalty wranglers there. We'll find out what happens there as soon as we get more information for you.
All right, so that was confirmation, and that was not another penalty for Dirty Larry. He was just serving the remainder of that penalty.
Want to give out some sponsor love to Wicked Skatewear. They provide uniforms for lots of teams. They also have some excellent apparel. I saw a T-shirt. It had a great silhouette of, you could recognize the face right away. And you saw the war paint. It was definitely Demander Riot's face on that T-shirt. It was an awesome T-shirt. You can visit wickedskatewear.com for all kind of awesome derby apparel. And like I said, if you need uniforms, they can hook you up with that too.
a little bit of
you can hear the Maelstrom fans in the audience cheering this on. This is definitely a great bout for the Mass Maelstrom, especially considering the last time they faced off against your mom. It was almost 100-point spread between the two teams.
But right now, only 22 points separating these teams. Plenty of time for Mass Maelstrom to stage a comeback.
I want to mention the really interesting thing about that about the expulsion of Twinkle Toes there is it could result in a suspension from the rest of the championship should your mom advance to the final game. That'll be something that we have to watch out for. If your mom takes the win here in this bout, will Twinkle Toes be back on the roster for that last game of the day, or even for the third place? Fourth place game, because your mom will make at least one more showing today.
All right, but that is not necessarily the case. That is only if the head referee of the game recommends suspension, then that is a possibility. But so far, we don't have any information on that. Right, as far as we know at this time, Twinkle Toes will be eligible for the following game. Of course, this is a semifinal. The winner will advance to the championship. The loser will go on to the consolation bout, the third place game. But B-Stang quickly getting through the pack, claims lead, Jammer. And number 2, Conlon driving his shoulder and trying to get past B-Stang. B-Stang, we've seen him blocking for most of the game. And now we're seeing why, putting up a fierce defense, but Conlon getting past him. And now B-Stang, something going on with his shorts, but he did call off the jam in time. Scoreless jam. So the score remains 115-93.
It looks like B-Stang's going to just go ahead and line right back up, too. Remember, if you want to get in on the conversation, you can join us at #TalkToMRDA. And also, keep in mind, this is a semifinal game. The very next game at 10:30, Gatekeepers versus New York Stock Exchange, will also be the second semifinal game.
Jurassic Park jamming for Mass Maelstrom, runs into Sugar Boots. Sugar Boots connecting again with the hip check, and now Peter Pan with a shoulder check. But around the outside, Jurassic Park looked like he had an open lane, but stumbled and lost out on that. Does manage to just slide past Sugar Boots, but gets taken down by B-Stang, who drives him out of bounds, and he gets reeled back in by Peter Pan. Now he is back into the pack, so he completed his initial pass, but has to re-pass to re-exit the pack. They're getting spread out, so that was a smart move by B-Stang. B-Stang now on a scoring pass. Jurassic Park does complete that pass again, but that was not a scoring pass. He was simply re-exiting the pack after getting sucked back in. That's technically eating the baby or feeding the baby. What do we call it?
Eating the baby is the term used in the derby world for a jammer being swallowed back into the pack. Looks like your mom able to make a little more headway on the scoreboard there for themselves, getting 4 points. 93-119, 17:50 remaining on the board. It's going to be number 8, Byron, on the Ringster jam line for Mass Maelstrom, facing off against number 12, Nick Becker, for your mom.
And Byron going to the penalty box right off the bat, a back block called. So it's a power jam for number 12, Nick Becker, who opts to call off the jam as he's approaching the pack. Interesting decision. He was on the power jam, just feet away from scoring points, and calls off the jam. Possibly a little bit of a mental error on the part of your mom.
Actually, Nick Becker is not typically a jammer for your mom. I think they wanted to go ahead and call off that jam and start with a fresh jammer. And you can see they are fielding Peter Pan, who is known to be very, very fast on his skates. They want to get that lead a little bit bigger from Mass Maelstrom, so I think that was a strategy by the bench. They want to get a fresh jammer who's fast on his feet out there.
Well, it's debatable because fast on your feet is one thing, but 3 feet from a 5-point pass is another consideration. But your mom obviously is working out for him. Peter Pan already on a scoring pass, so and so basically they only lost about 10 seconds or so. He was that quick through the pack, so I could be eating crow here. And Peter Pan obviously up to the task, gets 5 points on the board within just seconds of this jam. Now on his second scoring pass. And now, dodges around Mars Travolta, gets out of the pack. 5 more points, 10 points so far in this jam. So the gamble paying off. That was a little bit of a gamble, potentially giving up 5 easy points or 5 quick points, but Peter Pan more than up to the task. Puts 15 points on the board, calls it off, and just in time, Byron's still in the penalty box, but standing up. So he'll be rejoining the game shortly after the first whistle.
And I'm with you, Bulldog. I think Nick could have probably went through in that last pass and got those additional 4 points, but you can see your mom was able to increase their lead considerably with Peter Pan out there jamming for him. 93-129, 15:30 remain. Mass Maelstrom's jammer still in the penalty box, so power jam to start. Let's see if Frank Natsuhatra can take that lead jammer before Byron rejoins us on the track.
The Mass Maelstrom holding strong. That's Godet and now Colleran, number 562, trying to make last contact, but Frank Natsuhatra able to get out. He is lead jammer now. Byron now out of the penalty box at the front of the pack, one-on-one with Just Mike, number 88 For Your Mom, but gets out clean. Frank Natsuhatra on his first scoring pass already, but Benar was the last line of defense, but Frank Natsuhatra able to get out, calls off the jam for 4, and holds Byron scoreless.
That's it. Your mom increasing their lead during that last pass. 93-138, 14:30 remain on the clock. Don't forget you can join in the conversation. Visit Twitter, type something under 120 characters, and do hashtag #TalkToMRDA. Here we go. We're going to go into another official timeout. This has been the most official timeouts that we've seen in one bout during the tournament so far. It was a very short official timeout. We're already back into the game on. It's going to be B-Stang out on the jam line for Your Mom, and that is Conlin on the jam line for Mass Maelstrom.
Scrum start. Both jammers just attached at the hip, but B-Stang driven out of bounds by Coulter at the front. Conlin stumbles, but gets around Luke Jam blocker. Nick Becker trying to hold him in, and out of nowhere, Peter Pan comes in and blindsides Conlin. Conlin holding his chin as he started to get up, but then looks up, sees that he was declared lead jammer. He did get his hips out front. It was immediately called lead jammer, and that was fortunate for him because he got creamed by Peter Pan. It looked like he was asking for the high block. But no, the Peter Pan not going to the penalty box. But he does call off the jam, so manages to prevent any more damage.
Yeah, he wanted to get that jam called off because the other jammer had broken the pack and was already about 20 feet outside the pack, and that's not a bad decision when you've got the lead and the other jammer overtakes. Get out of there. B-Stang versus No Big Deal. Both jammers to the infield immediately. No Big Deal back on and at the front of the pack looking to get out.
No Big Deal now facing off against Dirty Larry, Peter Pan, and Sugar Boots. Sugar Boots steps in front of him, leaning back and forth, trying to fake in both directions, but Dirty Larry able to stay in front. Now he slides around to the front. Peter Pan now taking over on defense. No Big Deal gets spun for out of bounds by Peter Pan, but he manages to come back up, and Peter Pan thought he got him out of bounds, but somehow No Big Deal managed to stay in bounds and gets lead jammer. Now on his first scoring pass, B-Stang in the penalty box, so it's a power jam for Mass Maelstrom right now. But no Big Deal with a quick move around the outside, just bounces off of a hip check, stays in bounds, but gets cleared out by Peter Pan, and now cutting the track. That ends the power jam for No Big Deal of Mass Maelstrom, and it's going to be a jammer swap out. B-Stang is going to be released as soon as No Big Deal sits out. I think only the second jammer swap out we've had this game. But that's going to be about 20-30 second power jam for Your Mom. But nice move, Colleran drawing B-Stang way back far from the pack. And now all 4 Mass Maelstrom blockers trying to hold up, but somehow B-Stang able to get through a tiny, tiny crack on the outside of the pack and completes his initial pass. Now on his first scoring pass, looking to match the points. Remember, No Big Deal was on his first scoring pass when he got sent to the penalty box for that cutting the penalty. But now B-Stang gets a grand slam. Now we don't know how many. No Big Deal didn't complete his scoring pass, so we don't know how many points yet. he got. But now B Stang completing a second scoring pass, almost an identical move. The Pack's only advanced about 10 feet or 20 feet or so. But that was 2 grand slams for your mom. And did we see any points for Mass Maelstrom?
I've not seen anything added to Mass Maelstrom yet. I didn't see any fingers go in the sky either, so I don't know if points were awarded or not. Scoreboard has not been updated. 93-143 currently what it shows. 11 minutes on the board. And we're going to go into the next jam. Frank Natsuhatra on the jam line was asking, was that a game restart or was it a go? Bench yells at him, it was a go. So he gets go and gets stuck and hung up in a wall of white.
Well, that worked slightly to Mass Maelstrom's advantage because that meant that No Big Deal was able to get back into the game before Frank Natsuhatra got out of the pack. In fact, he came in right after Frank Natsuhatra came off the jammer line, but now Frank Natsuhatra in the penalty box for your mom. So it is another power jam for Mass Maelstrom. But No Big Deal still on his initial pass. Lead jammer was not awarded to Frank Natsuhatra, so still an opportunity, but No Big Deal bumped out of bounds, and I think he was actually bumped out of bounds by Nick Becker, so he might have been able to come back in without cutting the track penalty, but he played it safe, which is the smart thing to do because there's no telling. You basically have to read the mind of the referee in order to tell whether or not you are safe to come back in, and the consequences of coming back in if the referee disagrees with you is you're going to the penalty box.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what happened there, Frank Natsuhatra, as he came out of the pack, got an elbows call, and so that's why we have this power jam for Mass Maelstrom. And then No Big Deal coming out of the pack, again, wanted to start fresh with a new jammer, Jurassic Park, number 1993, going to take over for the rest of this power jam. Facing off against Peter Pan at the front of the pack there, quickly gets lead jammer, and now on his first scoring pass, going to see if he can close up the gap that your mom has redeveloped. Currently 50 points between the teams, but that's going to change up. Jurassic Park putting 5 on the board for Mass Maelstrom.
And a little bit of a scoring drought for Mass Maelstrom for quite a few jams. They've gotten very few points, but now very close, and now finally breaking into 3 digits. But as you can see, 40 points separating the two teams. At the start of the second half, they were 39 points behind. Now 40 points behind after that grand slam by Jurassic Park. So your mom has had quite a little bit of a scoring streak. It looked like Mass Maelstrom was coming back with a bench, actually getting within 18 points of your mom briefly. But your mom reestablishing themselves. Jurassic Park knocked out of bounds by Peter Pan. Jurassic Park calling off the jam, does get 4 more points. So a good solid jam by Mass Maelstrom, but time beginning to come up short. Only a little over 8 minutes left in the game.
Absolutely, and it's 107-43. Still not an insurmountable lead for Mass Maelstrom as another official timeout. I see the penalty, all the penalty wranglers going to the penalty box. I think we're just double checking to make sure people are serving that are supposed to be serving. And we'll get back into the action here shortly, but let me tell you about somebody who's been doing this for a long time. SinCitySkates.com, the first, the best, happy to fix the rest. Visit SinCitySkates.com. Definitely seen a lot of action in the penalty box, the notorious RED penalty box during this particular game. I think that's why we have this official timeout, because they're just making sure that everybody has served their penalties that is supposed to have served penalties.
Yeah, things definitely heating up. We've had 1 expulsion. We've had a lot of penalties in this second half. We have 2 skaters within 2 with 5 penalties for your mom. The worst offender for Mass Maelstrom has only 4 penalties. So your mom some potential last-minute expulsions. So that could prove crucial in the end game. But B Stang right now quickly through the pack. He's lead jammer, and just as easily through the pack a second time, and 4 points, looking to get 1 more jammer point. But Byron holding strong. Oh well, we'll see. Yeah, only 4 points for Your Mom does not get that jammer point, but calls off the jam, so 4-0 Your Mom.
1:07, 1:48, 7:30 on the clock. You kind of heard the crowd going crazy there when that pass happened, and this is definitely an intense game for fans on both sides of the house today. And we're going to get back into it. B-Stang back up on the jam line, going to face off against number 2 Conlin for Mass Maelstrom, both stuck up in the pack as the scrum start happens. Lots of shoulder hitting happening right now as both jammers trying to clear that pack.
Yeah, and I think that may actually have been a 5-point pass. I see the score now at 148. I believe they went into it at 143. So I think he may have gotten that jammer point. But now lead jammer goes to 31-58. B-Stang's been doing a lot of jamming in the second half. I think it was almost 100% blocking in the first half. I don't think he jammed at all, but now has been jamming regularly, even more than regularly. He's been doubling up a few times, but now trying to leap across the infield, goes sliding, and that is looking at collar, and he is not happy about that. I think he thought he drew the cut. I think he thought that leap across the apex came back in front of him and touched out of bounds, but the referees didn't see it that way. So it's going to be Your Mom going up to 153, but we have another official timeout.
And I see Your Mom's coach and captain in the infield. Also looks like Mass Maelstrom's coach out into the infield. Perhaps with a question for the refs. Right now it's just an official timeout, so it's the referees calling the timeout. It is not an official review. Don't forget, coming up later today, we've got plenty of Derby action. Next game is going to be the St. Louis Gatekeepers versus the New York Stock Exchange. That's going to start at 10:30 Central Time. That's going to be the second of the semifinal games. The winner of this game will face off against the winner of the next game at 5 p.m. this evening here in Sioux City to determine the 2013 MRDA champion team. And that's why both teams are very intense in this particular bout, and both teams really want to take this win. I do see some discussion going on between the head ref and number 6 Sugar Boots, the captain for Your Mom, and that's the game on whistle. We're going to get back into the game.
Okay, but I don't see any change in the penalty box. Still just Peter Pan all by himself for Your Mom. So 4-on-3 pack advantage for Mass Maelstrom, with Jurassic Park, number 1993, jamming for Mass Maelstrom. Mass Maelstrom in the white, Your Mom in the black, with number 9, Frank Nacho Hatra, jamming. Frank Nacho Hatra leaning into a 4-wall of Mass Maelstrom. Jurassic Park getting hip-checked out of bounds by Seahorses Forever, number 7. Dirty Larry trying to draw him back further, but Jurassic Park was very nimble, getting back in very quickly. But a multiplayer block called on Seahorses Forever sends him to the penalty box. And Jurassic Park now dodging around the outside. Sugar Boots catches him in turn 4, just barely keeping him in the pack, forcing him out of bounds. He has to recycle to the rear. And now number 9 outraces, Frank Nacho Hatra outraces Mars Travolta to get lead jammer. But Jurassic Park shakes off the Your Mom defense. Only 2 blockers on the track for Your Mom. Sugar Boots whiffs with a hip check. Dirty Larry makes contact, knocks down Jurassic Park, and forces him out of bounds. Jam gets called off. 2 points for Your Mom. An illegal procedure called on, I'm looking, looks like Dirty Larry getting an illegal procedure call. And, Peter Pan standing up in the penalty box, so that means there is a seat for Dirty Larry. And, of course, what that means is that Your Mom will have 1 blocker on the track to start. B-Stang, though, facing a 2-on-1 pack disadvantage, but gets through. So there were 2 blockers for Mass Maelstrom, but neither was able to make contact with B Stang. He gets lead jammer, and now just as easily gets through his first scoring pass. 4 points so far for your mom. But here comes Byron, knocks down Sugar Boots, runs into Peter Pan, but B Stang passes him on his way through, gets a grand slam. 9 points so far for your mom, 4 points matched by Byron. Now B Stang in defensive posture, knocks down Byron, and gets a low block call. That means it's a power jam. He was lead jammer trying to call it off, but got the low block and the high block called on Byron. That means we're going to have a jammer swap out. Only now he should be going to the penalty box as quickly as possible.
Yeah, with only 3 minutes 30 left and a minute left in this jam, no lead jammer. Definitely want to get yourself to the penalty box as quick as possible so you don't have to sit there and lose more points.
Well, there he is already standing up because B Stang had just gotten to the penalty box right in front of him. We had another, that was a jammer swap out. So B Stang now on I believe, 3rd scoring pass, 9 points already in his pocket. He was in between the 2nd and 3rd scoring pass. He was on his way to the 3rd scoring pass when he got that low block called. So now on his completing his 3rd scoring pass. And Byron now on his 2nd scoring pass, knocked to the infield. Seahorses Forever drawing him back. The notorious RED penalty box is empty. That's 5-on-5 right now. And B Stang finally completing his 3rd scoring pass. The referee saying 3 points. Only 3 points on that scoring pass, a no pass, no penalty, and he did not get the jammer point. That's because Byron was out of the penalty box before he entered. He very quickly, basically. I think before he scored his first point in that pass.
That's it. 119-170. 2 minutes 20 left on the clock as it ticks down. Nobody's used any timeouts or official reviews. We may see that happen here in the next couple jams so that they can stop the clock. Nobody appears to be wanting to call one right now.
That's right. Not a single timeout has been called by either team. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. Both teams with an official review remaining, but time running very short. So, I mean, you got to think Mass Maelstrom, maybe they should have started calling some timeouts, just to add, because that basically adds 30 seconds to the clock, effectively.
Absolutely. We're back into it already. Conlon fighting the good fight, trying to get out of that pack first, but Frank Natsuhatra finds his way, grabbing lead jammer for your mom, and your mom going to have control, so I think they're going to work on burning down that clock at this point in time.
All right, but there is now less than 2 minutes left in the game. Conlon getting driven out of bounds by Peter Pan. But gets a cutting the track. So this could very well be the end of the game. Well, actually, there is just slightly more time on the period clock than there is remaining in the jam. So if Mass Maelstrom chooses to, they can call a timeout right at the end. You can see on there the jam clock just under a minute and the period clock just now ticking under a minute.
That's it. It looks like Frank Natsuhatra going to play it safe. He doesn't want to get into the pack and risk getting a penalty. He's going to let the clock tick down, and that's not a bad decision to make strategically, because your mom currently has a decent lead. Should Frank end up giving up a power jam, it could be a detriment to your mom, especially as close as the scores are. So he's just going to let the clock tick down. With 10 seconds left, we may get one more jam if somebody calls a timeout, but it's going to be really hard for Mass Maelstrom to get in there.
Okay, well, I think at this point, Mass Maelstrom just hoping that they can draw a jammer penalty. But now Conlon racing out of the penalty box. The jammer for Mass Maelstrom back in action. Dodges around Peter Pan, who did that with an unsuspecting Peter Pan. But time runs out. There's still... Nope. It looks like a timeout was called by Mass Maelstrom.
And it looks like the period clock timed out. Let's see if that timeout was called in time for us to still have a couple seconds left on the clock. I think that's going to be the case. The game executioner is signaling to the scoreboard operator that looks like they're going to put 3 seconds back on the period clock, and they do. So we are going to have one more jam here in
fight, trying his best to get through, but Dirty Larry and Just Mike at the rear, and Peter Pan with a shoulder check. That sends Jurassic Bark on a spin. Frank Not So Hatra finally getting clear of the pack for Your Mom, calls off the jam as soon as he's awarded lead jammer. And that is the end of the game. Bangers.
What a beautiful game by both teams. Your Mom, as expected, coming in playing a hard game. Mass Maelstrom, I think everybody expected to see a great game from them too. And wow, what a show that is. 119-173 with the unofficial final. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be at least the final numbers when we double check here. You can already see Your Mom out there taking their victory lap. And well-deserved victory. That was a hard-fought bout for Your Mom. It's going to be interesting to see as they move on and come up against either the Shock Exchange or the Gatekeepers later on, how they fare in that bout as well.
That's right. That is the next game coming up. The St. Louis Gatekeepers facing off against New York Shock Exchange. The winner of that bout will face Your Mom in the championship. The loser will move on to the third place game and they will be playing against Mass Maelstrom. But a tremendous game by both teams. You know, Mass Maelstrom, we see it. We saw a big point differential. That was a result of some late penalties, especially jammer penalties against Mass Maelstrom. It seemed like they got some opportunities. There were opportunities for power jams that could have cut down this lead a little bit more. But every time they did that, at least 2 times, they ended up getting their own jammer penalty that allowed the swap out and negated the power jam. So, you know, a couple of opportunities. Also, you know, there is also the possibility sitting on all those timeouts. They could have potentially added up to another 30 seconds, maybe even a minute and a half onto the clock and gotten possibly another jam. You know, but that's a team strategy, and you know. And I can sit here in my armchair and say, yes, well, if I was the coach, which I am not. I'm not in that position. So
not a job I would personally want for any of these teams. That's a hard job to do. And yeah, hindsight is 20/20. And I agree. Using those timeouts may have been to their advantage. Unfortunately, there's no way to know at this point in time. But definitely stay tuned. Lots more great Derby action coming. We're going to be back at 10:30 with the Gatekeepers versus the Shock Exchange. You are watching the 2013 MRDA Championships on WFTDA.tv. I forgot what I was saying there for a second. Thank you so much. I'm Banger Smash. That's Bulldog. We'll see you later.
They told us to just sell skates online. You won't have any overhead. Put some skulls in your advertising. You'll make a mint. That was never our plan. Our plan was to make a store where all day we are fitting skaters, fixing skates, teaching customers, and putting the best gear on their bodies. Before we put 3 W's in front of our name, we made sure we had hundreds of happy customers come through our doors. We're not just Derby owned. We're Derby dedicated. Fast Girl Skates.
This is the Texas Roll 'em. That goes to you.
Hi, I'm Trish the Dish, and this is Ivana Spankin, and we're here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our Las Vegas living room in 2005, the first shop ever dedicated to roller derby, and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot mecca in San Diego, where we stock everything for our sport. Need help? With a combined on-track experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell, and we're happy to share that experience and knowledge with you. So contact us, sincityskates.com.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're here at the Angel City Derby Girls practice facility, hanging out and watching them practice. A few years back, we noticed that a lot of girls playing roller derby were not wearing certified helmets. They were wearing non-certified soft foam helmets, and we were concerned. We've been trying to get the word out to everyone that plays roller derby to wear a helmet that is certified for multiple and single impacts. While we were her here. Octane Jane was jamming and she got hit, snapped her head back and hit her head pretty hard. Octane Jane was fine. That's why we want girls in certified helmets, dual certified helmets, because you can't control how you fall in roller derby. It's a contact sport. You're going to get hit and you're going to go down. And this happens all the time, all around the world. And if you're in the wrong helmet, you're really going to hurt yourself. And she was wearing a lifer helmet, which is dual certified, and she got up and she's fine. So we're stoked and the helmet worked, and that's what this is all about.